Right. Let me ask you something that's probably doing your head in. You know that bloke at work? The one who treats his missus like she's just there? Doesn't reply to her text for hours? Forgets their anniversary? Never posts about her? Acts like he could take her or leave her? And she's absolutely obsessed with him? Can't stop talking about him? Worried sick when he goes quiet? Doing backflips trying to make him happy? Meanwhile, there's you or maybe a mate of yours. Flowers on random Tuesdays. Good morning texts. Actually listens when she talks. Remembers what she says. Treats her like the bloody treasure she is. And what happens? She's bored. Loses interest. Says she needs space. Eventually walks away. And you're sitting there thinking, what the actual hell is going on? Here's what no one wants to tell you. The way you're showing interest is killing her attraction. And before you get defensive, I'm not saying you should treat women like garbage. I'm saying you need to understand the psychology of what's actually happening here, because once you see it, you can't unsee it. This might be uncomfortable to hear, but it'll change how you approach relationships forever. Let me tell you about two blokes I know. We'll call them Dean and Rob. Dean's 41, owns a landscaping business on the Gold Coast, drives a decent ute, looks after himself, got his life together, meets a woman named Emma at a mate's barbecue. She's a teacher, smart, attractive, gets plenty of attention from blokes. Dean's into it, right? So he does what he thinks he should do. Texts her the next day. Had a great time meeting you yesterday. You're amazing. When can I take you out? Takes her to fancy restaurants. Sends her good morning messages. Always available when she calls. Completely rearranges his weekend plans if she wants to catch up. 3 weeks later, Emma's texts are getting shorter. She's busy when he suggests meeting up. Eventually, she says she's not feeling the connection. Dean's gutted. He did everything right. Or so he thought. Now Rob. Rob's a 38-year-old bartender in Brisbane. Lives in a 2-bedroom unit he shares with a mate. Not rolling in cash. Not driving a flashy car. But here's the thing about Rob. He's got something Dean doesn't. Rob meets a woman named Kate at the pub. They chat. There's a vibe. She gives him her number. Rob waits 3 days before texting. Coffee. Saturday, 2 p.m. That cafe near South Bank. Not, would you maybe want to grab coffee if you're free? Just a straightforward invitation. Kate shows up. They have a good time. She texts him that night. Had fun today. Rob replies the next afternoon. Yeah, it was all right. Not cold, just unbothered. Kate starts texting him more. He replies when he feels like it, sometimes quickly, sometimes hours later. When she suggests meeting up, sometimes he says yes, sometimes he says he's got other plans. He never double texts, never asks where the relationship is going, never asks if she's seeing other people. 6 months later, Kate's absolutely hooked on this bloke, tells her mate she's never felt this way about anyone. Right, so what's the difference here? Because Dean's objectively the better catch on paper, yeah? Here's what's happening. Dean's behaviour is screaming, I need you. I'm lucky you're giving me the time of day. Please don't leave me. Even though he never said those words, his actions are broadcasting it loud and clear. Rob's behaviour is saying, I'm interested, but I've got my own life. You're not the centre of my universe. I like you, but I don't need you. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Women are wired to be attracted to the second message, not the first. Now, before you lose your mind, I'm not talking about being a dickhead. I'm talking about something deeper, about value perception and scarcity. See, we value what's scarce. We take for granted what's abundant. This is basic human psychology, mate. Doesn't matter if we're talking about relationships, money, or anything else. When you make yourself completely available, when you shower her with constant validation, when you drop everything for her, you're signaling low value. Not because you're actually low value, but because that's the message your behavior sends. Think about it. A bloke who has options, who's got his life sorted, who women are interested in, does he act desperate? Does he rearrange his entire life for someone he just met? Does he need constant reassurance? Nah. He's got other things going on. He's interested, but he's not needy. Let me tell you what happened to Dean after Emma walked away. He did what most blokes do, analyse the hell out of it. Was I too keen? Should I have played it cooler? His mates told him he needed to be himself and that the right woman will appreciate him. Standard advice. Also completely useless. About 6 months later, Dean meets another woman, Lisa. And this time, he's a bit different. Not because he's playing games, but because he's genuinely less invested. He's been working on himself, got into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, started a side business, actually built a life he's proud of. When Lisa texts, sometimes he replies straight away, sometimes he's genuinely busy and doesn't get back to her for a few hours. When she suggests catching up, if he's got other plans, he actually says no instead of immediately rescheduling his life. And here's the thing, he's not being fake. He genuinely has other priorities now. His attention has become scarce because he's got other things demanding it. Lisa notices this. She starts investing more, texting him first, making plans, asking when she'll see him next. And the more she invests, the more interested she becomes. This is the pattern, mate. And once you see it, you'll spot it everywhere. Right, so here's what's actually going on in her brain. When a woman meets a man who's immediately all in, completely available, utterly devoted, there's no challenge, no mystery, no need to invest mental energy. But when she meets a man who's interested but not desperate, who has his own life, who doesn't need her validation, her brain starts working overtime. Does he really like me? What's he doing when we're not together? Why isn't he texting back? How do I get more of his attention? This mental occupation creates attraction, not because women are manipulative or playing games, but because this is how human psychology works for everyone. We've all done it, mate. That job you had to interview for 3 times, valued it more than the one that hired you on the spot. That pub that's always got a line out the door seems better than the empty one next door, even if the beer's the same. Scarcity creates value. Availability diminishes it. Now, here's where it gets interesting. There's a biological component to this too. For thousands of years, women had to be selective about who they reproduced with. Getting pregnant meant 9 months of vulnerability, then years of raising a child. A bad choice could literally mean death for her and the kid. So evolution wired women to be attracted to men who displayed high value. And one of the key indicators of high value? Other people wanting you. Options. The sense that this man isn't desperate because he has choices. Your Aussie suburban woman in 2026 doesn't consciously think about this. But that ancient programming is still running in the background. So what does this actually mean for you? First, and this is critical, you cannot fake this. You can't pretend to be busy or play games while secretly being desperate. Women are incredibly good at detecting bullshit. They'll smell your neediness a mile away, even if you're waiting 3 days to text back. The real solution is to actually build a life that makes your attention genuinely scarce and valuable. What does that look like? It means having mates you catch up with regularly, having hobbies you're passionate about, having goals you're working toward that have nothing to do with getting a woman, having standards and boundaries you actually stick to. It means when you meet someone you like, yeah, you're interested, but you're not reorganizing your entire existence around them. You've got training Tuesday night. You've got poker with the boys Thursday. You've got a business you're building or a project you're working on. This isn't about being unavailable. It's about being genuinely invested in your own life first. Second, your validation needs to be earned, not given freely. When she does something impressive, when she shows up as her best self, when she treats you well, that's when you give her approval and attention. But you're not just handing it out because she exists and you're grateful she's talking to you. Third, you need to be okay with losing her. I know that sounds counterintuitive, but here it is. The moment you become terrified of her walking away, you've lost. That fear makes you needy, and neediness kills attraction faster than anything else. Look, I know this is a bit confronting because we've been told our whole lives that the way to win a woman over is to worship her, put her on a pedestal, make her the center of your universe. But the evidence is right in front of you, mate. How many relationships have you seen where the bloke does everything right and still gets walked away from? How many times have you seen women absolutely obsessed with blokes who barely give them the time of day? It's not about being a dickhead. Rob wasn't mean to Kate. He just wasn't desperate. He treated her well when they were together, but he didn't make her his entire world. The blokes who understand this, the ones who build genuine lives they're proud of, who have actual options and standards, they don't have to act like they're nothing. They genuinely are invested in things beyond getting female approval. And paradoxically, that's what makes them magnetic. Here's the thing. You can be a good bloke and still maintain your value. You can be caring without being needy. You can be interested without being desperate. You can treat her well without making her the sole source of your happiness. The secret is simple. Build a life so good that her presence is a bonus, not a necessity. When you do that, your attention becomes genuinely valuable. And when your attention is valuable, she'll work to earn it. That's the psychology behind why women get hooked on men who act like they're nothing. Those men aren't pretending, they genuinely have something going on beyond her. She'll be right when you get your own life sorted first. If this hit differently, do me a favor and subscribe to My Matters. We're here talking about the real psychology of relationships, not the fairy tale version you've been sold, but how things actually work. And if you're sitting there realizing you've been doing everything wrong, don't beat yourself up. Now you know. Now you can do something about it. Build the life. Become the man. The attraction follows. Catch you in the next one.